Hi, this is Aditya and welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to explain general web development architecture and then I'll go specifically into AEM architecture. If you like the videos which I am doing, please hit on that like button and please subscribe to my channel. Let's get started with the presentation. And this is where all the action starts. Our user will first open the browser and let us suppose he enters this URL https hostname : port name, and this is a test URL. Let us suppose this is the URL path which he is entering. Then the request first goes to the web server. So if this is a static page like url.html page, if this is a static page, then the request gets served from the web server itself. Okay, so all that web server does is it serves the static content, like for example HTML pages, JavaScript pages, CSS. So all those files web server will be sending to the client. And if it needs any dynamic data, like any database connection to be established and extra computation to be done, then the request goes to the app server. So the example of the app server could be like an Apache Tomcat server, and what it contains is all the objects, all the Java objects or Java classes will be available here. Okay, and Java classes are capable of connecting to the database, get the data, render the data and send it back to the web server. So let us suppose there are 100 classes defined here. For this particular URL, which Java class should be executed so that it connects to the database and gives the response. To decide that, we use something called as framework. Okay, so we use certain framework like struts framework or Spring Boot framework, something like that. So it is the job of that framework to see which URL is coming up, and it maps this URL and decides which Java class has to be executed, and from there the execution starts, and ultimately a response will be sent to the web server in the HTML format, and that web server, that HTML formatted file will be sent back to the client. So this is how the general web architecture works, web application architecture works. So the main parts here are the web browser, web server, app server, then the framework, and then database. So these are the main parts which are involved. Now if we come specifically to the AEM architecture, so this is how the AEM architecture looks like. Okay, so here again we have the client and we give the URL in this format. Then first request comes to the web server, and web server has something called as dispatcher here in the AEM world. So we'll come to this dispatcher in our later on videos. But then if we go to the app server, right, the framework which we use here is Apache Sling framework. So as I told, the job of the framework is to decide which Java class to execute or which classes or which code to execute if so and so URL is given in the browser. Okay, so it maps the URL to the code which has to be executed. So that job here is done by the Sling framework. And the database here is the JCR, which is Java Content Repository. It is a NoSQL database. Okay, so to understand more about this AEM architecture, right, what I would suggest is we need to think like if we are about to build an application like AEM, so how would we build it? So if we think like that, we'll be able to better understand this AEM architecture. So to understand that, so first we'll see what are the main features which AEM is providing. Then we will see if these features have to be provided, what is the solution, what is the best solution we can arrive upon. Then we will know what is this Java Content Repository and Sling framework in a better way. So that is the way I would recommend. So let's go ahead and see the main features which AEM is providing here. So the first thing which we need to know is the site structure. So in AEM, what we can do is we can create a structure like this. So if we see here, this is the structure we are creating, /content, and this is vretail is our site root URL, and in this we have language master, and then en, and then we have the pages like about us page is there here, and products page is there here. So different pages which the end user will see are created here. So if we observe, there is a folder like structure here. So first we have this vRetail, and then in that we created one more folder called language masters, then a language specific to EN, and then inside that folder we created this page. So it is like a folder structure, right? So this is one thing which we need to note. So the end user who is a marketer or an author, he has the ability to dynamically create these pages. So if I want to create a new page here, I just have to click on the new button and create a new page, and that page will appear here. So there is no need of any special coding. So just click on the button and the new page will get created. So I need to give this feature to authors, right? So that they can create the hierarchical structure like this, and they can dynamically create the pages. So this is one of the feature. And the second feature is like if we open that page, okay, so let us suppose here I am opening this product page, then what happens is it looks like this. Okay, so the page will be rendered in the right hand side. So how will the page appear when we open the browser? That sample will be shown here on the right hand side. Now if we observe on the left hand side, right, all these are the components. So this page which we are seeing here, right, so the blue color box here, this is hero image root. So if we see here, this is hero image component. So the thing which we should note here is this page whatever we have opened is the combination of some of these components. Okay, let us suppose we have just dragged and dropped the 4 components here, and that's how a page is built. So page is ultimately made up of these components, and we can drag and drop these components in any order we want, and that will be rendered in that order which we have dragged upon. So here if we see on the top we have the hero image, and here we have the cards being displayed, right? So we will have the ability to change this content like equipment, and we can even drag and drop the images here to change the image which we want. So at the end of the day, all this page is made up of is bunch of components, individual components, and we also have the ability to change the content in that component. Like for example, if this is a text component, we have the ability to change this text, and if this is a carousel component or a cards component, we have the ability to change the content on that particular component. So this is one of the feature which AEM is providing. So if we see like this, right, so it appears like this. So first is the hero image. So this is the content tree. If we see like how exactly we have added all the component, so this is how it looks like. This is the hero image, first hero image, and then we have a layout container. Layout container is a generic wrapper in which you can add any component. So it is just like a container. So what does this contain? This contains a title, welcome to our finest. So this is the title, and then below that we have some teaser. Okay, so hiking teaser, then this teaser. So all this list of components which are available as part of this page is shown as a content tree here. Okay, so this is how the components are added onto the page, and it is a combination of these components in this particular order which makes up this page. Okay, so the idea here is the marketer or a non-technical person is able to add these components and dynamically render this page without having to code even one line of code. Okay, so that is the ability which we want to give to a non-technical person. So now let's think for a while and see how exactly this page could be rendered by AEM. Okay, so let us suppose a request in a URL format is coming, like /this/URL, something like that will come. Okay, so then if we are able to identify this page, okay, so the first thing is we need to be able to identify this particular page, and then once we have identified this page, we need to see what all components are there as part of this page. Okay, and then we need to go to this particular component and see what is the code inside that component. So this component has some HTML code within itself such that this particular layout is being rendered, right? So there is certain code in this particular component, and there is certain code in this title component so that this title is being displayed here. So AEM should be seeing what all components are there in a particular page, and for each component what is the code, and then it has to execute that code and then finally render this page. Okay, so that is how this AEM is working. So to do that, if we see in the backend, this is how it looks like. So if we go to this backend CRXDE, right? So this is how it looks like. So see, this is the content we can use some path like this. Okay, if we go to the JCR content, so JCR is Java content repository here. So if we go to the JCR content, now if you see here, you see something called as Sling resource type. Okay, so this is what is telling what is the type of this resource. Okay, this is the resource here. Okay, so what is the type? This is the page. So the idea here is, if the user is entering this path in the URL /content/weekend USEN magazine and this particular guide LA state park.html, then the first thing which we want to do is, first we need to come to this path and go to JCR content and see what is the resource type. This is of resource type page. So then what we need to do is, we need to go to this particular path, weekend/component/page. Then it will have the corresponding code which will say as to how this page has to be rendered. Okay, so that is one thing. And second thing, if we just go click on this plus and see, this is how it looks like. Okay, so if you click on this plus in the JCR node, you will have the root, container, and all that you have added, all the components you have added. Earlier we have seen the structure like this, right? Here it is in the nice UI format, but the same thing if you see in the backend, it will look like this. So these are all the components which are there as part of this particular page, right? So if we see again this component, right? So this component also has the Sling resource type. Okay, and this Sling resource type will point to that particular path, and in this path the code to render this component will be available. Okay, so we need to be able to have a mechanism like this, so that first when you enter a path like this, it should come to that particular path, see what are all the components available, then from that component it should be able to see the path of that particular component's code, and it should go to that code, fetch that code and execute that code and finally render that page. So what are the two main things which we are talking about here? One is the page and what are all the components which are making up that page. So that is one data structure we need. Okay, maybe in a JSON format or something like that. And the second part is, for each of this component, what is the actual code which we need to execute, right? So that code, maybe the HTML code, JavaScript code, CSS code, that code also has to be stored. So now what we are talking about is a semi-structured data. So if you see the traditional RDBMS data types, right, it will be like rows and columns, and we have the perfectly structured data. But here what we are talking about is the code, right? HTML code, JavaScript code. This is not a structured data, right? This is some code or a program, so which has to be saved as a text file. So because of this semi-structured data that should be stored, right, we cannot be using a RDBMS kind of database for AEM. So that is why what we are doing is, we are using the Java content repository, which is a NoSQL database. So you can imagine JCR just as a file system. Okay, so let us suppose you have content, weekend, US and all this here, right? So in the backend, if you see, imagine this to be like a folder. Let us suppose there is a content folder, Windows. If you see, open the Windows and you can create a new folder, right? So let us suppose you have created a content folder, then go into it and create a weekends folder, go into it and create a US folder. Like this, you keep creating the folders like this, and in the end what you do is, you just create a property file, and in that property file you just have what is the name of the property and what is the value of the property. Imagine this to be like a notepad. Okay, if you can just open this as part of a notepad, and what you will see is what is the property and what is the value. So that is how the Java content repository works. So Java content repository has two things. It has the content, which is this property file, right, wherein you have the name and property, and you also have this path or the node, right, which is used to identify that particular file. Okay, so this is the thing which JCR provides. It has the property files, and it also has the code files. So the actual code, like for example, if you go to this particular path, right, maybe there is some path called weekend slash component slash byline. So if you go to that particular path, you will have the actual code files in that file structure, which is part of the Java content repository. So at the end of the day, you can imagine Java content repository as just a file system, and in that file system you either have the property files or you have the code files. And how do you go to that particular property file and to that particular code file is using this particular path, the folder structure path. Okay, so this is how you can imagine the Java content repository to be. So if we imagine like this, then this is how the entire flow works. Okay, so first user opens the browser, he will enter this path, then the request goes to web server. Then what happens is, this is a dynamic page, so again the web server sends the request to the app server, then our Apache Sling framework will kick in. So what this Apache Sling framework does is, it will see this URL, this path. So our Sling framework knows that this path which we have given here is nothing but a folder structure in the JCR, which is the Java content repository here. So what it does is, it just sends a request to the JCR and it gives this path, and it fetches the property file which is existing in that particular path. So then you will get some folder structure like this. Okay, so first thing you will get is this one, which says that it is a page. You will fetch this property file. Okay, and you will also fetch all the content within that particular page. Okay, so this is the page, and what are all the components available as part of this page. So this also goes as part of a JSON response to this particular Sling framework. Okay, so first it gives the request and it fetches all the components which are available, page components which are available, and it comes to the Sling framework. So then what it does is, it just goes to each and every component and it will see what is the Sling resource type. Okay, and then it will go to that particular path. Okay, so this is the path where the code is residing as to how this particular component has to be rendered. So what it does is, it again gives a request to the JCR content, asking it to get the component scripts, and what is the location in which this component script are there, so that you have known using this Sling resource type. So this is the path where the scripts used to render this particular component are there. So it gives again the request to JCR and it gets back all the component scripts. Then this Sling framework will execute those scripts and finally convert them into the HTML format. So first it will execute this component and get the HTML code for this. Again, then it goes to this component, execute, get the HTML. Like that, each and every component it will execute and get the HTML format of it, and finally it will stitch all that HTMLs into this particular page, and that stitched HTML page will be sent as a response to the web server, which then will be sent to a client. So this is how the AEM architecture will work. So this is the simplified flow which I tried to explain to simply understand how AEM works. So more details about what is this JC, what is this Sling framework, and what is OSGI and all that, we'll see in our upcoming videos. If you like the videos which I am doing, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.